A major shock once again hit the global entertainment world. The news about the shocking reason that drove Taehyung to leave BTS created an emotional wave that was difficult to contain. ARMY in various parts of the world cried, could not believe it, and wondered what reason could actually break the bond that had always been considered unshakable. Why does HYBE instead seem to choose to cover the truth, as if there is something far more serious behind the scenes? These questions now hang, without clear answers, but with signs increasingly pointing to one shocking conclusion. Something is deliberately being hidden. Taehyung's departure from BTS is not just an ordinary personal decision. The atmosphere surrounding this issue is full of oddities, contradictions, and signals that cannot be considered coincidental. In recent weeks, the public has noted how changes in expressions, attitudes, and even interactions between BTS members looked different. Taehyung, who had always been known for his calmness and professionalism, suddenly displayed eyes filled with burdens. Was it a sign that he had long harbored a heavy decision? Or was there external pressure that forced him to take this step? On social media, thousands of posts from ARMY showed emotional reactions that cannot be underestimated. Many feel that the reason for Taehyung's departure could not be as simple as described. If it was truly a personal decision, why then did a narrative shrouded in mystery emerge? And why does HYBE, the company behind BTS, look so silent, even as if trying to bury the growing questions? This silence is what instead fuels wild speculation. Is HYBE hiding something that, if revealed, would cause a major scandal? One fact that cannot be ignored is how strong the emotional bond is between ARMY and every BTS member, especially Taehyung, who has always been a symbol of sincerity and warmth. The news of his departure quickly sparked protests, disappointment, and deep sadness. Thousands of comments were posted with the same tone. Why must it be like this? Why are we not given an honest explanation? This collective voice is not just an emotional expression, but a reflection of deep disappointment over what is felt as a betrayal of fans' trust. Furthermore, suspicions emerged that the real reason was related to internal conflicts that had long been invisible. Some believe that Taehyung was under pressure to adjust to the new direction the company wanted. But was that in line with Taehyung's artistic principles and personality? If not, then clearly there was a big difference that was difficult to reconcile. Isn't this what actually became the breaking point? Not stopping there, suspicions also pointed to dynamics behind personal relations between members. Many fans noticed changes in Taehyung's interaction patterns with Jungkook, the person most often associated with him. Videos, photos, and short clips circulating on digital platforms showed a distance that had not been visible before. Is this just an overinterpretation? Or is there really something happening, which then influenced Taehyung's decision? ARMY captured these signals as something serious, and that is why the news of Taehyung's departure became even harder to accept. HYBE, which has always been known as the giant machine of the Korean music industry, is instead seen as reinforcing the mystery. Their silence seems like an indirect confirmation that something is being covered up. If there was really nothing to hide, why did they not try to reassure the public with transparency? Or is it because they know that if the truth is revealed, the impact would be more devastating than just letting rumors grow? The anger of ARMY is spreading further. Some even called for a boycott, while others tried to gather small evidence from Taehyung's digital traces. An old post showing Taehyung's ambiguous words went viral again, reinterpreted as a signal that he had long tried to express his frustration. This strengthens the belief of some fans that this departure was not something sudden, but the result of accumulated pressure hidden for years. The biggest question now echoing is, why does HYBE seem to refuse to give answers? Are they afraid of losing control of the narrative? Or are they preparing another scenario that could divert public attention? This situation puts ARMY in an emotional dilemma. They want to support Taehyung, but on the other hand cannot accept the fact that his departure is treated with such mystery. The fact that ARMY's tears fell in various parts of the world shows that this issue is more than just celebrity gossip. This is a matter of trust, emotional attachment, and a sense of belonging to a figure who has become part of the lives of millions of people. When the truth is covered up, the emotional wound only deepens. Not a few fans admitted they felt betrayed. because they believed BTS was not just a music group, but also a symbol of honesty and openness. From here arises the final and most frightening question. If the real reason is truly revealed, is the world ready to hear it? Or will that truth instead destroy the image that has been built so perfectly all this time? Until this moment, there are no definite answers. But one thing is clear, ARMY will never stop searching, and HYBE will not be able to cover up something that has now become a public secret forever. However, amid the torrent of emotions and speculation, one question emerges that must not be ignored. Does all this circulating information truly reflect reality? Or are we instead being dragged into a fabrication created to attract global media attention? Did Taehyung really leave BTS because of serious and hidden reasons? Or is this issue merely a dramatic narrative deliberately built to create chaos online? This fundamental question must be the main reflection for every reader, because without a critical attitude, we will only become part of the great stream controlled by certain interests. Let us look deeper. Where did this issue actually originate? Many video clips from TikTok, short snapshots on Twitter, and long speculations on YouTube, all competing to form the bigger picture of what happened with Taehyung. But can those small fragments full of interpretation be used as absolute proof? Isn't social media often prioritizing sensation over accuracy? Here we must ask, is ARMY's current sadness truly based on solid facts, or just a reflection of a narrative neatly polished by parties with certain agendas? HYBE's silence in facing this issue further muddles the atmosphere. But can their silence really be considered proof that there is a hidden truth? Or is silence instead a communication strategy deliberately used to trap the public in curiosity? Isn't it true that in the global entertainment industry, mystery and ambiguity often become the most effective weapons to create mass attention? This question invites us to reflect. Are we witnessing a real tragedy, or just victims of a planned communication scenario? Many fans claim to have found signs from Taehyung's expressions that were considered unusual. But can the interpretation of someone's face in a few-second video clip be strong proof that he is truly harboring deep wounds? Are the tears of ARMY now flowing in many countries a reaction to reality, or just a form of excessive empathy toward an emotional narrative shaped by social media? If this is really just a framing game, then we must dare to ask, who benefits from all this? The fact that this issue spread at incredible speed shows that the public is very easily influenced by dramatic narratives. But does the speed of its spread guarantee its truth? Isn't it hoaxes that always move faster than facts? And if this issue is truly a hoax, aren't ARMY's tears worldwide proof that emotional manipulation has been carried out perfectly? If so, what is our position as consumers of information? Are we conscious victims, or are we secretly also enjoying the sensationalism that we actually criticize? It must be understood that almost all information now circulating comes from platforms vulnerable to manipulation. TikTok with its algorithm that emphasizes emotional engagement, Twitter with its viral tendency that often ignores context, and YouTube with clickbait titles deliberately made to trigger shock. Is it right for us to build big conclusions only from these fragments? Isn't fact supposed to be built on strong verification, not just emotional speculation? We also cannot ignore the possibility that this issue is deliberately played by certain parties with commercial interests. Is it true that the narrative of Taehyung's departure only coincidentally emerged amid the increasingly fierce competition of the global music industry? Or is this merely another form of marketing strategy, where ARMY's tears are used as fuel to strengthen dominance in the entertainment market? If so, isn't this the most subtle yet most dangerous form of emotional exploitation? The emotional reaction of ARMY is indeed understandable, but isn't it time we pause for a moment to ask, are we responding to reality or just a shadow created to test our loyalty? Are these mass tears truly a form of sincere love, or rather proof that a global fandom can easily be moved only by a narrative that may not be true? If fandom can indeed be manipulated like this, doesn't it mean that the power of collective emotion is actually being used as a tool? Then, what about the role of the media that keeps quoting this issue without deep verification? Are the media really trying to seek the truth? Or are they only magnifying the sensation to gain attention? If the media is merely a mirror of the public's thirst for drama, aren't we actually living in a vicious circle where truth is no longer important? The main thing is only how a story can shake the emotions of as many people as possible. Therefore, we must return to the core question. Do we truly believe that this event is real, or is this merely a fabrication aimed at attracting media attention? Does this article reflect facts, or is it merely part of a hoax architecture deliberately created to provoke emotional involvement? And if this is indeed a hoax, who will be responsible for the millions of tears that have already been shed? We must admit that the truth of this issue still cannot be confirmed. All the circulating video clips, tweets, and speculations do not yet have a strong foundation that can prove the big claim about Taehyung's departure from BTS. But isn't this exactly where the importance of skepticism lies? Isn't the most basic critical reflection the courage to admit that we do not yet know the truth, and that we must not simply believe in a narrative that is unverified? Finally, we must ask ourselves, what does all this mean to us? Are we merely consumers of emotions willing to be controlled by social media, or are we individuals capable of standing firm with a critical attitude? Do we just want to cry together, or do we really want to understand what happened? If the truth is still tightly closed, isn't our task to wait with skepticism, not be swept away in sensation? And if in the end this is all just a game, doesn't that become the most bitter lesson for the global fandom that not every tear deserves to be shed?